This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Finally, the deadline has now come and gone, and I'm now free to talk about my take on the new Lagom Casa, which is Optiono's newest entry-level grinder, designed with their sights set pretty squarely on the entry-level market. But with a lineup already full of solid grinders, including another 48mm Conical, the question is, how does the Casa stand out? Well, that's what I'll be looking into today, on top of going over the usual suspects of its performance and usability, and the ever-persistent quirks and downsides. But first, in the spirit of full disclosure, the folks over at Optiono sent me the Casa about 2 months ago to beta test and provide feedback, but were also kind enough to allow me to do a review prior to returning it back to them. And since we've worked together before, they of course agreed to my terms of no access to my draft or the contents of this video prior to full public release. But with all that out of the way, let's dig into it. Immediately, I think the most striking thing about the Casa is its overall design, which in true Optiono form is modern but functional, and made entirely out of anodized and coated space-grade aluminum and machine CNC'd to their exacting standards. But beyond its outward appearance, they've also made some smart upgrades and updates since their last compact Conical, the Lagom Mini. When you look at it from the top down, you've got the entrance into the grind chamber that features a dome that smoothly slips beans in, but also blocks them from popcorning out. And this upper chamber can fit a max of about 30 grams of coffee. Also, this entire top portion of the chamber is the grind adjustment dial, which of course is stepless and is capable of going from espresso all the way to a coarse French press. On the inside, the burrs are a 48mm set of in-house designed Meissen Moonshine Conicals that are a slightly different geometry from the original set designed from the Lagom Mini, with an aim towards highlighting the flavor profiles of more modern lighter roasts on espresso. The burrs themselves are powered by a 200-watt brushless DC motor and spin at a relatively low 140 RPM, which is intended to help produce a more consistent grind size distribution. In terms of the grinds themselves, they exit into the dosing chute that includes a built-in knocker, which then drops into a magnetized dosing cup that can hold around 40 to 45 grams of grinds. The base and body of the grinder are heavy, so they sit nice and firmly on the counter, and it also fully contains the electronics, eliminating any need for a power brick. And also it features an auto-off function that detects when the coffee has finished grinding, that also adds to its overall simplified workflow. As you likely gleaned from the overview, the Casa does have a few main goals, those being a precise and durable build, simplicity of use, and of course quality grinds and cut profiles with modern light roasts. So let's go over each of those one by one, starting with the precise and durable build. And in my opinion, the Casa meets the same standards I've seen with the 3 other Optiono grinders in my possession. I see no difference in the materials, quality, and attention to detail, from the lowest cost grinders all the way up to the 102mm flat burr beast, the Lagom 01. All of the parts and pieces fit together smoothly and cleanly. There's no creaks, rattles, flexes, or panel gaps. Next up, let's talk simplicity of use. And I think just by the pure nature of a grinder being a single doser, that sort of is more or less a given. But the Casa does a really good job at creating a very nice linear workflow. It's grinder on, beans in, knock knock, and you're ready to go. Granted, it isn't what I would call fast though, and you're looking at half a gram per second on average for espresso settings, and a little over 3/4 of a gram per second on average medium pour over settings. In terms of operating noise though, the Casa is right around the average, if not just a tad lower. It hits around 70 decibels without beans and 75 when grinding, though it does have a bit of a squeal. But I will say, and don't at me on this, but you can actually save yourself a little bit of time by completely skipping the RDT, because the Casa is as close to a zero retention grinder as I've used, even without RDT, leaving me at the same dose in and out more often than not. And in my experience, RDT can cause beans to stick under the anti-popcorning dome, which makes them hard to see, and they fail to make their way into the grind chamber, causing essentially faux retention. Basically, all you need to do is a few knocks and you're good to go. From there, the dosing cup itself sits pretty nicely on a 58mm portafilter and also pours cleanly into your dripper of choice. And conveniently, when you're ready to clean it, you don't need any tools. the adjustment dial just simply unscrews all the way coarse, lifts off, and then the carrier holding the outer burr set can simply just be pulled out. And that gives you direct access to the cone burr and the chamber itself, which, as you can see, has very little dead space other than a few screws. And finally, last but certainly not least, let's talk grinds and flavor profile. As I mentioned earlier, Option-O themselves designed this grinder and these burrs with the intention of brewing light roast modern espresso. So as you'd likely expected, with that design in mind, I've had no issues with stalling or jamming on lighter roasts, on either cold or hot starts. And truly, they've done a great job at producing a set of conicals that really do balance out the increased clarity and acidity with more overall sweetness. And that take comes in direct comparison to the original 48mm moonshines in the Lagom Mini, which I did dial in as close as possible to the Casa and taste tested side by side. And for those who maybe are curious, the Casa did outperform the Lagom Mini in terms of their standard variation, which I'm sure is likely due to their slight geometry changes and the 60 RPM difference. And even though espresso is obviously the main focus of the Casa, I think the filter is also very solid, as it brings together a bit more of the brightness and clarity you'd want from a flat set, with a bit more of the body and sweetness you'd expect from a classic conical. So in the end, the Casa's brewing is sort of a best of both worlds kind of experience. Every once in a while, a product comes through or lands in my bar that I find makes it difficult to come up with anything I'd consider quirks or downsides, and when it comes to the Casa, this section definitely felt like splitting hairs. But for one, I think the design is going to be a make or break. Folks are either going to love it or hate it, and personally, I'm not a huge fan of its profile, but from the front it looks fine, and honestly, I think it looks a lot better in person than it does in pictures and videos, so that's something. And similar to the Lagom Mini, the Casa falls prey to an issue that I affectionately call small dial, big spin. Essentially meaning its wide adjustment range isn't ideal for such a small diameter knob. So adjusting back and forth from espresso to filter just isn't quite as quick and easy as everything else is on the Casa. But it does offer more numbers on the dial than the Mini, so it's a bit better on that front. And finally, another carryover from the Lagom Mini, the Casa also comes with a recommended duty cycle, which according to Option-O will be similar to the Mini, which recommends a max of 90 seconds on, followed by a minimum of 90 seconds off, which I think in most use cases won't likely matter, but I think it's worth knowing about depending on your planned operation. In the end, it's no secret that I'm pretty partial to Option-O grinders, and many of you already know this, and those of you who don't, just take this as you will. But I think the Casa is the best mid to entry level conical I've tried since the Niche Zero. Everything about it looks, feels, and tastes premium. And overall, I think its simplicity is a big win, because not only does it reduce possible future failure points, but also avoids overpromising and underdelivering. From the body to the burrs and the brews, I just don't think there's another option that I've tried in the $400 price range that hits all those points as well. And even with the option of a 65mm set coming at some point in the future, I can't really see the grinder getting that much or significantly better. Maybe just grinding a little bit faster, but time will tell. Regardless, even as it sits right now, the Casa is a great standalone option for the new home brewer, or a proper secondary for the experienced barista looking for a conical to pair with their flat. But on that bombshell, I think it's time I start wrapping this one up, and as always, pass the conversation on to you. So what are your thoughts on the Lagom Casa? Personally, I think the looks are going to be one of the main deciding factors for potential buyers, but I want to know what your thoughts are. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? So drop your answers to those questions and any others you may have in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see y'all next week. If you're looking to create the website of your dreams, look no further than Squarespace. Its all-in-one platform has all the features and functions you need to succeed from the ground up, like their Fluid Engine design system, which allows you to unlock your personal creativity and brand with easy-to-use drag-and-drop technology. Or if you don't know where to start, you can use their new Blueprint AI, which can guide you through step by step. And once you're up and running, you can create your own paywalled content using subscriptions or a one-time fee. So head on over to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Prometheus to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button for notifications when new videos drop. Check out my Instagram at Sprometheus for more coffee content. Help support the channel by considering becoming a member for unique exclusive perks. And as always, stay caffeinated. Pony Boy.